Hi there. In this video, we'll be covering how much does it cost to publish a book traditionally. This topic is definitely an important one. And even though traditional book publishing can come with an advance and can come with money in your pocket, it can also be deceptively expensive. By the end of this video, you will learn the hidden cost of book publishing, both financial and emotional. And stay tuned until the end of the video for a free resource I really think you're going to enjoy. Let's dive in. When you publish a book traditionally, there's so many opportunities that can come out of it. One of the greatest things is that traditional publishing will cover the cost of the steps needed to publish. We're talking about editing, design work, some marketing promotion could be included. Traditional publishers will typically cover the elements that if you were self-publishing would come out of your pocket. So there's a great opportunity to cover those costs and maybe even get some money into your pocket even before the book's published. At the same time, if you're traditionally publishing a book, it means you're probably putting a lot of time and effort and energy into this book, either on the front end or the back end. I think back to a book I wrote about a baseball player named Ken Caminiti, and I spent 8 years working on that book. I interviewed 400 people. I traveled to California. I traveled to other states. I spent a lot of money on my own before I even had a book deal. And by the time I got an advance on the book, when I got a book deal in place and got an advance, it was a nice amount of money, but I don't think it even amounted to anything, a fraction of the cost I spent on the book over the years. So it's interesting to look back, and ultimately I haven't satisfied the advance to be able to start making additional money on the book. So I got the advance, which was great, and that was it. So I look at that and I think about all the time spent, and it was time worth it. I don't want to make it seem like that wasn't worth the investment of time and effort. It was 100%, and I'd do it again. But when you're looking at how much it costs to publish traditionally, there's so many little hidden things that go into it. The effort needed to get to the place to be able to publish traditionally, the research needed to write the book, the steps that you're taking as an author, some of the speaking engagements you go to. For my baseball book, for example, I was invited to speak at a group in Houston, Texas. So I flew to Houston. No one was paying me for that. I went on my own. It was awesome. I loved it. But at the same time, that's out of pocket. So there's a lot of out-of-pocket expenses that can come with books. And it's important to be mindful of that even if you are getting paid and even if different services are being covered, that there can be cost involved with traditionally publishing. There's also the emotional cost of traditional publishing. When you're shopping around the book and you work on a book proposal and you send it around to different agents and publishers and they keep passing and they keep telling you, oh, this isn't right for me. Oh, I don't think I'd be able to market and sell this book. I don't think I can be part of this. It's so maddening and it's so frustrating to just keep constantly facing rejection. So there's an emotional cost that comes with traditional publishing. There's that question of, am I good enough? Is this book good enough? Is this story good enough? You could have a great story and still publishers are wary because of your platform, because of your ability to market and promote the book, because of X number of factors. They might pass on this book that is great. And it's frustrating, it's maddening. So you really need to take that into consideration too, that this isn't just a financial cost, but an emotional one. This is a headache and an obstacle course, and you really need to just be patient and be resilient in the face of that, but it's a hidden cost of traditional publishing. Another thing to keep in mind is that, we see the bestseller list and think, how did this person get on the bestseller list? They must have had a book that really resonated. This book must be great because they're on the bestseller list. A lot of times with bestseller list, there are marketing campaigns, paid marketing campaigns. I've worked myself on 2 national bestsellers, ghostwrote them, and both of them involved marketing campaigns where the author spent tens of thousands of dollars. Somebody sent an email blast to a list of people, gave them a gift card with this email and said, use this gift card to go buy this book. I don't know how many people even read the book, but it became a national bestseller because of this marketing campaign. I'm not necessarily for or against such marketing campaigns. If there's a system in the game, people are going to game it. But at the same time, sometimes there's there's elements that come into play where there's more money needed. There's more money needed to get to that next level. You know, ghostwriting support, for example, costs quite a bit of money. You could spend tens of thousands of dollars to work with a ghostwriter or to work with a top-tier marketer that can get you bestseller status. So there's all these little hidden costs that can come into play when you're writing a book. It's great when you can cover those features or cover those costs yourself. You know, if you end up doing the writing yourself, it's not going to cost anything to have somebody help you write it because you're doing it yourself. You know, but if you need a ghostwriter, that's a cost that you want to keep in mind. You know, if you want to spend tens of thousands of dollars on a marketing campaign, that's something to keep in mind too. So there's these doors that open, these financial things that open. The more things that you want to unlock, the more it's going to cost. But again, when you think about getting a traditional book deal, one of the great things about it is that you can actually take the money from the advance and save it, set it aside for the book promotion. If you know you want to spend money on book promotion, you can use money in the advance in furtherance of that. You know, I remember when my book came out, I set money aside and used it to promote the book on Amazon. And it was great to be able to do that, or set up Facebook ads. It was great to be able to do that and to, you know, kind of put my force behind it, to believe in it, and to put my money where my mouth is. Like, I think this is a great book and I'm going to promote it. So I get it. You know, there's this urge to want to, you know, speak it to the masses. And the more that you can do, the more resources you can devote to your book and making it great and getting the biggest readership possible, awesome. But it's good to keep those things in mind. If you want to learn more about how much does it cost to publish a book traditionally, I have a course I really think you should check out. It's called Good Book Proposal. Just go to goodbookproposal.com and you can sign up to take this course, to learn all the steps needed to work with an agent, to work on your book proposal, to get a publisher signed up for this book. It's a difficult, grueling process, but it's an empowering process. And if you do the steps the right way and you have the right book, good things are going to happen. But check out that course if you're interested in more information. Remember, a good book can change your life. I'm Dan Good. Thanks for watching.